Hey there, it's Christina Louise, the founder of Inflow and Flourishing, and I'm back again to share a super powerful tool with you that I hope that you'll keep in your tool belt and use every moment of your life from now on, because when you use this tool, the results that you see happen in your life will literally blow your mind. I'm not kidding you. I use this tool in my life. I've used it in my business. I've used it to decide where to live, how much to spend, what kind of a house to buy, who my partner should be in work and in business, what I should talk about on these videos. I use this tool literally all the time, and every time I use it, it's foolproof. It always works out better than I ever could have planned it using just my logical mind. You know, the mind is very helpful, and I love logic. I'm a very logical person. I'm actually an intellectual and an academic myself, but that's just a part of the tools that we've been given as human beings. We are thinking and feeling beings operating in a three-dimensional reality, but the head is a tool. The logic is just a tool. We have another tool. It's our heart. And in fact, your heart is more than just a tool. It is your portal to your divine, highest, holiest, truest self. And when you let yourself lead your body, lead your actions, lead your choices, your results are always consistent, sustainable, and are always, 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 I promise you this, better than you could have ever planned it. So if you want to receive this tool, it's super important that for the next 10 minutes or so, you get yourself into a quiet, safe place by yourself to enjoy this experience. We're actually going to go on a little journey today. I'm going to help you drop down into that beautiful portal in your heart. It's going to feel so good, so calming, and so relaxing. And we're going to ask a couple of questions, and I'm going to show you how to decipher the right time, the right action, the right purpose for all that you do. And when I say right, I don't mean that there's a right thing and there's a wrong thing. Right and wrong are very relative. What's right for you today might not be right for you tomorrow, next week, or next year. So it's so important that you use this tool often. In fact, I'm at a level where I'm using this tool moment to moment, even as I'm sharing this video, like with the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm using this tool right now. I don't have a script behind me, okay? I'm letting myself lead this video, and that's why I know it's going to make an impact on the right people at the right time, and it's going to produce a result that's not only good for you, but good for me and good for the whole world. So if you think that that's a little unbelievable, I understand. I'm a cynic myself. You don't have to believe anything that I'm sharing with you ever. In fact, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to experiment. I'm an experimenter. I'm an explorer. I'm the type of person where it's got to work every single time. It's got to work over there, for him, for her, for her, for her. And I've got to see it work 80 to 150 times before I say I believe it and I share it with others. So the reason I'm sharing this tool with you is because it does work all the time. I've experimented with years. My clients use it all the time. We all get the same results, and I want to give it to you today. So let's start by taking a couple of deep breaths. It's super important that you're sitting down and that you've carved out this little chunk of time for yourself today. So take a couple of deep breaths. First tool I'm going to give you, see, I didn't even know I was going to give you more than one tool, but here's another tool. When you put your hand on your heart and you get that skin to skin connection, it actually sends a signal to your brain to start releasing happy hormones like oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin. These are the feel good, connection enhancing, revitalizing hormones. They're the youth hormones as well. So why don't you go ahead, close your eyes now, put your hand on your heart. If you can get it skin to skin, that's even better. So just start by noticing your heartbeat, just feeling it. You're not trying to make anything happen today, okay? As you're breathing, I'm going to go over a couple of foundational points that are important for you to understand. Number one, you are more than a body and a mind. Your body and your mind are your tools. You are so much more than this physical, dense piece of flesh you see when you look in the mirror. You are a spiritual, unlimited, energetic, dynamic, unlimited, never-ending being of light and consciousness. And you are created by consciousness, a consciousness that loves you and supports you every step of the way. Your higher self, what we call intuition, some people call God, I like to call spirit because it's a more universal, non-confrontational term, is always spirit, is always talking to you every moment of every day. But when we're busy running around like a little chicken with our heads cut off, trying to check all the boxes off of our to-do list, it's really hard, if not impossible, to hear the guidance that we're receiving. So sometimes you watch people like me and we make you offers, or somebody comes to you and makes you an offer and you're sitting there like, I don't know if I should do it. I mean, part of me says yes and part of me says no. I'm going to help you clear that up so that you can get out of indecision and back to your to-do list, back to working with your clients, back to expanding your business, back to making that bigger impact that you want to make on the world. Okay? So my goal here today is to help you get the answer to your question from your highest holy self through your heart. Because when you do this, oh my God, let me just give you an example. So just keep breathing, put your hand on your heart, enjoy this space. We only have a few minutes left together today and I want to make the most of it, okay? And you're going to be able to receive what I'm saying if you're calmer and you're relaxed. You're also prepping for that tool that I promised you, so hang out for a minute. I want to share with you that I have spent, over the last 20 years, I have spent at least 15 of those years trying to outrun myself. I've gone from Buffalo, where I'm from, to Hawaii, to California, to Arizona, to Indiana. Now I live here in Sarasota, Florida. And all those moves that I were making were essential and vital, and I don't regret any one. But while I was moving, I was really trying to outrun. I was trying to change the circumstances in my life to get my feelings to change. And once I buckled down and really started to work with the thoughts and the feelings, the inside work first, that's when my heart led me to Sarasota, Florida. I don't know what you know about this place, but look at it. Every video that I shoot is from a beach or a beautiful natural scene, which is totally my thing. I never saw Sarasota once before I got here. I literally packed my car over a year ago and started driving because that's what my intuition told me to do. At the time I was living in Buffalo, my rent was cheap, my parents lived across the street, I had tons of friends around, I knew where everything was, it was so comfortable, the cost of living was low, my business was doing great, but inside I was feeling uncomfortable and my physical health was suffering. And so finally, I had it up to here. I started looking within for guidance and support and started receiving confirmation that the next place for me to visit to was Sarasota, Florida. Well, I didn't feel that I had time to visit, so I packed my car and I started driving. And when I got here, halfway here, I realized that this place was everything that I loved about all the other places that I'd ever lived in my life in one place. I learned halfway here, while I was in North Carolina driving, that this is called the Sedona of the East, that we have beaches made of pure quartz crystal sand, that there's this beautiful spiritual community of light workers here who understand people like me and get me. This is the perfect place to build my retreat center, which will be coming in the next couple of years. So trust me when I tell you that using your head to follow your heart is the way to get sustainable results. But sometimes it gets really hard to know the difference between the head and the heart. And that's what I want to help you get in tune with, right? And if you want to receive this tool for knowing the difference between your head and your heart, knowing what the next best step for you is, and having results that knock your socks off, that are cheaper, easier, better in every way you can imagine, and feel good and are joyful and are like surprises and Whew, it feels so good. You've got to click the link below, find a time on my calendar, and I'll walk you through this process. So you've been watching me for a while at this point. You already know in your heart if you want this information and you want to talk with me. It's just a conversation, so I invite you to click the link below this video, roll your sleeves up, and get a little nitty-gritty with me. Let's have some fun. Let's shed some layers of doubt and fear and get some clarity. Let's get you out of indecision about whether or not we need to be working together, talking to one another or not. And you're only going to know if you take some action. So go ahead, click the link below this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.